All right. Hello. How is everybody doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. And hopefully I'm not too laggy. If I am, I'm going to have to redo this broadcast. But should be good. So I want to talk with you today about ethanol. I want to talk to you today about what it's doing to your gas, because we are going to hop right into this. There's a lot of myths out there. There's a lot of confusion, and I want to clear some of it up. So what we're going to do first is we are going to look at a little video, and we are going to see why ethanol is a big topic, okay? Why it is a big topic. So let me share my screen here. All right, let's make that bigger. All right, so let's start with this small video.
Gas prices.
People who own older cars are concerned for their engines.
Yeah, the Biden administration is allowing the sale of 15% ethanol gas in an effort to lower gas prices. This blend of gasoline is normally banned because of its environmental impacts, but it doesn't just hurt the atmosphere. Wake News reporter Michelle Alvarez tells us how it's going to impact your ride.
There are many things that can damage your car or truck, but you don't expect gas to be one of them. We went to find out what the widespread use of 15% ethanol blend will really mean for drivers.
15% ethanol versus straight gasoline will be about 4 to 5% decrease in mileage in all vehicles across the board.
Billy Marino is a mechanic at Terry Winter Auto Service Center. How will people know if their car runs on this blend?
Around 2005, they introduced ethanol as a standard into all gasoline in the U.S. market. From that time forward, manufacturers' vehicles adhered to it. Cars earlier than that aren't really equipped for it.
The Biden administration says the move will save drivers an average of 10 cents per gallon at more than 2,300 gas stations. But will it be worth it?
What's going to happen is we're just going to end up consuming more fuel to get the same miles out of that tank. So the 10 cents or so that we may recoup by using ethanol isn't going to offset the cost of using 1.5 gallons more of fuel.
In Fort Myers, Michelle Alvarez, Wink News.
All right, so the devil is in the details, folks. That gentleman is completely right from the fact that ethanol by itself isn't bad, but the fact that you have to use more of it to get the same result is. Now, I'm going to show you some other interesting videos from some people who actually did dyno tests on their vehicles with ethanol and non-ethanol, and we're going to show you the stats on it, and you can decide for yourself because numbers don't lie. That's why I like math. But one big issue with ethanol is the fact that it likes to attract water. And not only ethanol, but just in general. So I want to show you this little clip on how ethanol and gasoline and non-ethanol fuel, how you can test it with water.
Gas station sells gasoline with ethanol in it. Is ethanol a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it going to hurt your fuel efficiency or help it? Is it going to cause carbon buildup or is it going to help prevent carbon buildup? Let's get the testing underway and see exactly what it does to an engine. So when it comes to buying ethanol-free gasoline, I like to say trust but verify, and that's exactly what we're about to do. The gasoline to the left is supposed to be ethanol-free. The gasoline in this graduated cylinder is supposed to have 10% ethanol. To ensure a fair test, we're going to make sure that this does indeed have 10% and that this is indeed ethanol-free. Now, as it turns out, alcohol is hydrophilic, meaning it's attracted to water. So if we add water to the gasoline, then the gasoline is going to separate from the ethanol, and we'll be able to see how much ethanol content is in there. So I'm gonna be adding 20 mLs of water to this 100 mLs of gasoline. And in theory, if there's 10% alcohol, the line should occur at the 30 ml mark. Ethanol-free gasoline, on the other hand, there's nothing to separate out. So when I add the 2 mLs of water to the 10 mLs of gasoline, we should see the mark around 2 mLs. So what I'm gonna do now is add the water into the gasoline, and I'm gonna mix it thoroughly and allow it to sit for 15 minutes. When we come back, we'll see how much ethanol is in each one of these gasolines. So it's been about 15 minutes since I added the water to the gasoline, and it's had a chance to settle out. Fortunately, the gasoline I bought that's not supposed to have any ethanol in it doesn't. I added 2 mLs of water to the non-ethanol gasoline, and the line is right on 2 mLs. I added 20 mLs of water to the E10 gasoline on the right. As you can see, the line is almost up to 30, so this gas.
Okay, now hold on here for a second, people. Do you understand what he just did? Ethanol is hydrophilic, means it is attracted to water. So up here, this bluish tint, that is gasoline. That is a petroleum-based product. Down here is quote-unquote ethanol. He added, because remember, gas and water doesn't mix. He added over here 2 mLs of water in the gas separated. Boom. You can see it right there. He only added 20 milliliters of water over here, but now he has 30 milliliters of a substance that is separated from gas, proving there is 10% ethanol in it, because that's 10 milliliters. Let that sink in for a second. Ethanol attracts water. So what happens when you're living in any humid climate to where your gas tank is half full and you get a humid day, condensation builds up in your gas tank, and then it drips down into your tank. If it was 100% gasoline, that water would just sit on the bottom of your tank, right? And depending on how your fuel uptake is, some hoses are at the top of the tank, some are at the bottom. You might not get that water that comes through your vehicle. Or what will happen is the water will go to your vehicle. Like if you run your tank on E, that's the reason why it's never good to run your tank on E, because when you run your tank on E, if there is any water into your tank, the tank goes to the bottom, or the water goes to the bottom. It sucks up all that water, and boom, you have now stalled your engine. You haven't ruined your engine, but you've just waterlogged it. You've stalled it. But with ethanol in your gas, that same water that would have been sitting on the bottom of your engine now mixes with the ethanol. So you can see in this example that the ethanol is underneath the gasoline because water is heavier and more dense than gasoline. But in the portion of it that is water, there's ethanol in it. Now, here's the thing. If this was pure gasoline ethanol blend, the gasoline and ethanol would be evenly dispersed over all of the tank. As soon as you add water in there, it separates out. The ethanol then wants to separate from the gasoline because it's attracted to water. And since water is heavier than gasoline, it will pull it out of there. This is a huge problem, folks. It's not the ethanol. It's the water. So so I'm done showing you that. Now, what I want to go and talk to you about is something as far as results, okay? And let's go right here. I'm going to go to enginelabs.com. Here's something very interesting. So a quick way to measure the percentage of ethanol in gasoline, E85. So this is E85, okay? So remember, you saw in that video that there's 10% ethanol in all gas nowadays, okay? E85 just has more of it, right? So if you want to separate, so if you want to test it, you can go test it. It says, and a measured amount of water in the fuel, mix it. The water will separate from the fuel, like what we just saw a second ago. However, read this. Ethanol by itself is not corrosive. And yes, actually, ethanol by itself, there's not a problem. Ethanol is good because actually ethanol produces more octane. It is a cleaner burn. However, you have to use more of it. So it is actually more expensive. These cars up here, they run on ethanol, but they are specifically designed for ethanol. And these engines, these race cars, these guys, the stuff they're putting in there, they are making sure that all of the water is removed. So there is not any water going through these engines. Okay? But now read this. Ethanol is not corrosive. E98 has a 0.5% water in it. This is because it is extremely expensive to remove the last little bit of water. When ethanol is mixed with sufficient amounts of water, they mix water into the ethanol to cut it. It is a filler. This is the reason why they're doing it. So when the Biden administration is saying we're going to increase the amount of ethanol in your regular gas, what he's not telling you is we're actually increasing the amount of water in your gas. Hello? Is anybody listening to me out there? Just crazy. Now let's look at some results here.
Gasoline will actually produce just as much horsepower. So we're going to take a vehicle down to a local speed shop and we're going to have it put up on a dyno and see how it performs. So let's get the testing underway and just see how E85 does in a gasoline engine. So the vehicle we'll be using for some of our testing is a 2003 Chevrolet Suburban. It's an E85 equipped vehicle, our flex fuel vehicle. So it's designed to run on ethanol. We'll see how it does. The engine's just about out of regular gasoline, so I'm going to go ahead and add some E85.
Thank you for shopping with us. We appreciate your business.
Okay, 30 gallons of E85. I went and put E85 fuel in this jar, and I'm going to add it to this tester in just a minute. Now, this fuel is advertised as being E85, which, according to the fuel station, this fuel contains between 51 and 83% ethanol, not 85% ethanol. I really want to know how much ethanol content exists in this fuel, so I bought this test kit. The way this test kit works is water is added to the water line on the tester. The rest of the bottle is then filled with the E85. After shaking this up for 5 minutes, the alcohol separates out from the gasoline since alcohol is hydrophilic, which means it's attracted to water. I'm going to go ahead and add the water and then add the fuel, and we'll see how much ethanol content exists. I've added the water, now I'm going to add the fuel, and I'll shake it up, and we'll watch it settle out. It's been nearly half an hour since the water and the ethanol were mixed together. And as you can see, the water ethanol line is very close to 85%. So I ran into a bit of a problem doing the dyno test, and that is the Chevrolet Suburban would not reach the 5,000 RPM threshold for the test to be completed in third gear. The engine just did not have.
We don't need to see that. All right, so
Artificially high. So at around 3,500, E85 produced 312 foot-pounds of torque compared to 304, a difference of 8. But the horsepower was 221 compared to 204, a difference of 17. And that was the biggest difference. There was the extra 17 horsepower. 30.
So look, this is the benefit of E85. You will get more horsepower. You will get more torque. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. That's the reason why those race cars use E85. Actually, they're running more than E85. They're 100% alcohol. Okay? Because you do get more power. Now, here is where the problem is for people like you and me.
500. However, at around 5,000 RPM, it was only producing 297 on the horsepower compared to 292, only a difference of 5. And the difference in torque was only 329 compared to 337, difference of 8. All right, the fuel light is on. We're going to see what kind of fuel mileage we got running the E85. It's been 4 days since we filled up with fuel, so we're going to see what kind of fuel efficiency we're getting.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but look. E85, 11.9 miles per gallon.
It's been
87.
4 days since we filled up with fuel, so we're going to see what kind of fuel efficiency we're getting. This engine is not designed to run on E85, but
You saw that, right?
it's been 4 days since we filled up with fuel, so we're going to see what kind of fuel efficiency we're getting.
15.5 miles to the gallon right there. This shows you how E85 fuel is going to cost you more money. Now, even in your E85 vehicle, if both E85, even if E85 is 10 cents less than regular 87, you're going to use more of it. It's going to cost you more in fuel. I have the solution in this little box right here. But I'm going to show you one more video. Because this is happening, folks.
What's wrong, Socks? What's wrong with you? You stuck, are you?
Getting stuck sucks.
13 News Now is hearing from more drivers who received watered down fuel at a gas station in Norfolk. Several customers came forward after our initial story aired last week. Tonight, we got a response from corporate leaders with the 7-Eleven in Bayview. Angelique Arentok has this update.
An anonymous driver in Norfolk previously told us a quick fuel up at the 7-Eleven off East Bayview Boulevard and Tidewater Drive on May 27th ended up as an $1,100 car service bill. Her mechanic spotted water along with gas in the tank.
It made me think, if it is bad gas, how many other people put that in their cars and their car's acting strange and they don't know what it's from?
Several users on Facebook shared personal accounts with me and on the 13 News Now page. One commenter suggested there are even more cases posted to a local neighborhood group. According to Gary Mugavero with CarMasters Automotive, watering fuel is never good.
But it really all depends on how much water actually gets into the gas tank.
He tells me there's no way to know about water and gas as you're pumping, but if your car feels just a little bit off, Mugavero says you could possibly make the fix on your own.
You can get some of the additives from any of the big parts stores.
All right. It was found out later that the company was actually putting gasoline into the underground tank and selling it to you and me. This is the problem with the ethanol. When they put the fuel in there, water in there, it mixes with the fuel. Now, he said if you get some additives to remove the water from your fuel, I have the golden secret right here. Because what he just said is additives to remove water. What I have in this box is not only going to remove water, it's going to increase octane and increase your efficiency. You want me to show it to you? You ready? You ready for me to show it to you? I'm not going to. Oh, I am going to do a Zoom this Saturday. Go to this link. Go to this link right here. I'm going to put it in the comments as well. /home. All right. Make sure it works. There you go. So this Saturday, I'm going to do a live webinar that shows you what I found out about how I can increase my fuel mileage and how I can save up to $10,000 a year. Because think about this, folks. Think about this. Okay? The average two-car family in this country can save $10,000 a year by using this product. Because it's going to reduce maintenance bills and it's going to increase your fuel efficiency. So, if you have any questions, like I said, go ahead. You can contact me. You know how to reach me. Go to this link right here. And on Saturday, register for the live free webinar. I'm going to share with you how you can not only save money, but you can make some extra money on the side too. All right. Catch y'all. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.